Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of how to get started in trout fishing. Today we're going to talk about bait fishing for trout. Normally this is just for rainbow trout, but you can catch brown trout, you can catch trout on bait, mainly just on worms and like grasshoppers and stuff. But today we're talking about artificial bait, like power bait, salmon eggs, trout nuggets. We're going to talk about those types of things for use in ponds and lakes. Basically, if you want to catch trout with bait in streams, I recommend pinching a couple split shot on your line, leaving like a 10-inch leader down to your hook, put a big juicy night crawler on there or a grasshopper, cast it out, let it sit, let it drift with the current. But today we are talking about artificial bait, like the stuff that's in this box. So let's talk about the rig first. So you're gonna want, for ponds and lakes, what we talked about last episode was the rod you're gonna want, and that is the 6'6" medium action spinning rod. This is a great all-purpose trout fishing rod, but it excels in ponds and lakes. So we're going to go into the rig, and I've basically got it here, except you want to change out a few elements. So at the end of my main line, which is 8-pound monofilament, I have this little bubble, this little casting bubble filled completely with water. And the way you fill it with water is you tap the bottom of the bubble on or like a rock or something, and then you pull up this top part, and that'll let all the water out. Or if you dunk your hand under the water while you're holding the bubble, it will fill up with water. The only change you want to make to this is you want to take an egg sinker as you're sliding, before you slide the bubble onto your line. You want to slide an egg sinker up there first, so that bubble can go down in the water column. But this is what it looks like up until the swivel. You got your egg sinker, you got your bubble, and you've got a little swivel here. And then your leader, I usually use 4 to 6 pound fluorocarbon for the leader, and I think that works best. So you go 2-3 feet of leader, and then you go down to your hook. Right now I've got a fly on from my last fishing trip, but you know, just like a size 10 to 12 bait hook is perfect for these trout. Now, a quick word of warning. If you're gonna fish for trout with bait, trout are notorious for swallowing the hook. So if you want to catch and release trout, you have to be, and you want to fish with bait, you have to be quick on the hook set. You may want to use a slightly bigger hook so you can reach down and pull it out. But if you're looking to keep trout, this really doesn't apply, because even if they do swallow the hook, you'll be taking it out anyway. So yeah, size 10 to 12 hook just on the end of the line. And then, but that's the rig, guys. You got your egg sinker, bubble, and then your swivel, leader, hook. Going to the bait, this is up to you. When I was young, when I was 9 or 10 years old, I would go to my local reservoir. I would fish with power bait. Power bait is probably the most revolutionary dough bait in trout fishing history. And I always caught fish on this color right here. This is chartreuse. Great color of power bait. The other starter colors I'd recommend would be orange, besides chartreuse, the other starter colors I'd recommend are some sort of red or pink. This is a salmon egg red. The corn flavor works really well. And orange. Orange is also a great color. And if you can find it, nymph grape. So it's like this purplish pink color. It's got little black dots in it. I've found that one to work as well. Going into, so the question right now is, where are we going to fish this power bait? Well, you're looking for a pond or a lake. Power bait doesn't really do well in current, so you're looking for a pond or a lake with stocked rainbow trout. Wild rainbow trout won't fall for this, but stocked rainbow trout will, because it resembles the food that they were fed at the hatchery. So you're going to want these different colors. Stocked trout only. The optimal time to fish for power bait with these trout is within a week of the time these trout were stocked, because after a week, 2 weeks, they're going to become accustomed to the food in their new environment. But most states do quite a few, they stock quite a few lakes and ponds with trout. One state I know of stocks 30 million fish in their lakes every single year. And yeah, so you got a place with stocked trout. That is going to be your best bet. Power bait, and I just ran out of salmon eggs earlier, but salmon eggs work too. Salmon eggs are by far one of the best natural looking trout baits that you can use, and they'll work for stocked trout as well. They'll do a good job. They're not real salmon eggs, they're artificial ones that look like salmon eggs, but those are good stocked trout baits as well. You can find them in like your local Walmart if you live in a state that's more tailored to trout fishing, like somewhere in the West. But you want to use these baits at stocked ponds and stocked lakes within a week of the time these fish are stocked. In most states, their fish and game departments or their wildlife departments or whatever will put up a stocking schedule on their website, or if you're going to a private trout farm, something like that, like a pay lake, then I think they'll have a stocking schedule as well. I could be wrong on that, but just find when those fish are going to be stocked, and good luck. Sometimes you will catch stocked trout on power bait and stuff after they become accustomed to their environment, because trout have a good sense of smell. These baits have a really interesting smell that for some reason trout loves. So you don't necessarily have to always follow the stocking schedule. And you do want to be pretty conservative with this bait. I think it goes about $3 or $4 for a singular little tube of it. So you do want to conserve bait. You want to mold it around the hook properly. And I believe Berkley's now come out with a little tool that you can scoop the power bait with, and then you like slide it onto your hook. I don't know. I've never used it before. I've just molded the power bait around the hook. You just want it so the hook is covered. That is one of the baits that trout will swallow because they can't see the hook. They can't detect the hook until it's too late. So I'd only really recommend fishing with power bait if you plan or are prepared to keep trout, because it can be difficult to release them sometimes after they've swallowed the hook. But I think that about covers it for trout fishing for bait. The key is to catch these fish is to find where they are. You noticed, if you've been around the channel for a while, earlier this summer, the fish were right under the dock where me and my friends were fishing. So all we did was drop our lines down and pull out the fish, but a lot of times that's not the case. So I'd recommend just making casts around to different places until you find a spot that yields fish, and then you want to continue that pattern, because often trout are schooling fish, and they sometimes will just move around in a pack and try to feed as a school. So you'll want to locate where the school is, and it'll move around. You have two options when the school moves out of the spot you're fishing. That is to cast to where you think the school is going, or you wait for the school to come back around to your spot, because at some point they will. If you found the fish once, you'll find them again. I think that covers it for bait fishing for trout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're liking this series so far and you want to see some more, please leave a like on this video, and if you'd like to see more cool tutorials, vlogs, and fishing adventures, please be sure to subscribe. So see you guys in the next episode.